Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome indeed. I'm very happy to be here with you, sincerely. My name is Dr. Arnold Nerenberg. I've been licensed to practice in the state of California since 1974. I like to say I've been licensed to walk upon this earth since 1941. So it's over 81 years, going on 82 years now that I've been around. And it's a great pleasure and delight for me to be able to share with you the insights, lessons, and inspirations of a lifetime. My intention is to have an impact and uplift you for the rest of your lives and for you to be able to bring that to your loved ones. That's truly my intention this evening. And not just bring something to you now, but something that will continue to have an effect on you forever. The title of today's presentation is a very interesting one. It's Help, I Can't Control Myself. Help, I can't control myself. I know that rings a bell for all of you. They're the obvious ones. People aren't able to control, you feel you can't control your eating. I know every one of you, without exception, feels you could be eating better, but sometimes you just can't control yourself. You know, I shouldn't be eating this, but I want it. I can't stop. So we're going to talk about two ways that you're not able to control yourself, that we can't control ourselves. Things we want to stop that we can't, and things we want to start that we're not. Things we want to stop and things we want to start. We're not controlling ourselves. I'm not saying we can't. I'm going to talk to you about a very powerful approach to dealing with both. So I'm not just going to give you the problems. I'm going to give you a good, powerful approach, very powerful and well tested. Well tested. You're eating things you know you shouldn't eat. Some of you, I'm eating really clean, super clean. About every 10, 12 days, I have to have my cappuccino and some pastry. I'm sure I'd be fine without it. I don't think I'm damaging myself much, but I know many people you're doing a lot more than that. I'm more motivated than you because I had a heart attack when I was 61, prostate cancer 65, label hypertension 67. So I'm motivated to stay alive. For me, staying alive is a full-time job. For most of you, you're younger, and makes it hard for you to stop. You can get away with it for a while. I like to make reference to the time I was at an outdoor cafe. This guy was talking to him. He said he has diabetes. His blood sugar was 300, which is really high. Anything over 100 is getting high. Yeah, I mean, it's above average, above normal. So we were talking, then our food came in, and I saw he got these pancakes made out of white flour, and he poured all this syrup on it. And he had 4 or 5 kids there with me, a lot of children. And I said, hey, bro, it's none of my business, but he just told me I had diabetes. He says, yeah, I know, but I just can't help it. I just can't. He's saying, I can't control myself is what he was saying. 300 blood sugar level, fasting glucose level. I wasn't going to say more. I said what I had to say. Later, one of his kids came up to me, hugged me, said, thanks for trying to help my dad. And I know you have some of those issues. You have those issues. I'm not saying you're dumping a lot of sugar, a lot of syrup on your pancakes. I'm not even saying you eat pancakes, but you've got this issue. You can't stop yourself. Many of you have drinking issues. You just couldn't stop yourself. You're doing things that you know were detrimental to your health, detrimental to your well-being. You did it anyway. You're doing it anyway. Some people are using drugs. They know they should stop. Smoking cigarettes. Everybody smoking a cigarette knows they should stop. I mean, they just know it. They know it's death waiting on them. They can't control themselves. They might tell you, I don't want to control, I don't want to stop, whatever. They know they're destroying themselves. They can't control themselves. A lot of you, when you start getting angry, you're out of control. When you get angry, if you go 10 seconds in anger, it's going to go for a while. You're not going to be able to stop the anger. Either you're going to be saying angry things or you're going to be getting a lot of angry thoughts. And you can't, you're out of control. You can't stop those thoughts. Oh, I want to just get over this right now. I can't. I mean, an hour, 2 hours, hell, a day. Some people, a week. They're staying angry, getting angry thoughts. Can't control myself. Can't help it. So we go back to the title. Help! I can't control myself. Now, I know for a fact that your boss, your supervisor has told you things where you felt hurt, misunderstood, micromanaged, humiliated, embarrassed. It happened. You come home. You're still thinking about it. Heck, I know that situation and variations show up in your dreams, nightmares from your dreams. You can't help yourself. You come home, maybe you talk to your spouse what happened, maybe you don't. Maybe you just take it out on your spouse. You take it out on the kids. You come home or you're really quiet and upset, and your weekends, you're home, you want to be enjoying yourself, and you're not because you can't stop the hurt thought. You're upset and you can't stop it. Help! I can't control myself. I know you because I know me. I know you. You can't stop those thoughts, your negative thoughts. You feel hurt, humiliated, embarrassed, and you keep going over it. Go back and say this to me. He's not the first time he's talked to me like that. Now later on, and people, yeah, he still said that. You try to carry on a conversation with somebody, you're talking, but really what's in the back of your mind is what that person said to you, and you're talking, maybe even laughing. In the meantime, you can't stop the thought. Or let's say there's a situation coming up. The doctor said, we need to do some x-rays, or we need to do a PET scan, something a little suspicious around in your brain area. It's going to be on your mind, and we're scheduling it for two weeks, 3 weeks. The whole 3 weeks, you're not going to be able to stop thinking about it. You can't control yourself. You say you don't want to think about it. If you talk to somebody and they say you keep thinking about it, they might say, hey, stop thinking about it. You might as well, if I tell you, hey, don't think about pink elephants. Do not think about a pink elephant. Or what are you thinking now? I'm sure pink elephant when I tell you that. So you tell yourself not to think about it, it's not going to work. I'm going to show you an approach to do with it. So here we have it. I just wanted to refresh your memory of how out of control we are. I want to really refresh your memory about this, about yourselves. Now, people don't know how to control you, out of control you are. They don't know. They don't know, hey, you've got all this going on. You're eating badly. You're entertaining lots of negative thoughts, angry thoughts, upsetting thoughts. They don't know you're doing all that. Nobody knows. That's your secret. Nobody knows. It's a secret. You don't want them to know. It's none of their business. It's embarrassing. I don't want you to know. I can't stop it. I'm out of control. I can't control myself. I want you to know this is the normal situation. I didn't know it when I was younger, but at 81, I know for a fact that this is what's going on with humanity. Everybody you know is really can't control themselves. I would say just about everybody I know who's dead was doing something that they couldn't control, and that they did something that lead to premature death through eating, particularly eating or smoking. Everybody I know who's dead, and I know a lot of dead people. The older you get, the more dead people you know. And they didn't need to die when they did. most likely, now there's such a thing as a true victim. There's a drive-by shooting, someone's dead. Well, that person is a victim. But there's a good chance that everybody you know who died co-created their own death. A lot of people died during COVID, and it particularly destroyed people with diabetes and obesity, which are related. So they weren't eating properly for the most part, got themselves obese, they're more prone to die. I was talking to a nurse practitioner, Bird, who had been a managerial position as a nurse practitioner at Kaiser. He said that was the main variables that he saw, obesity and diabetes, for people who died of COVID. All right, so now these are the things we can't stop. The next section we're going to talk about things that you're not able to start, that you need to start, but you're not starting. I want to talk about that. So right now, so how do we deal with it? You can't tell yourself stop thinking. You tell yourself stop thinking about it, it's not going to work. You get busy doing something else, get yourself distracted. That'll work for a while. That's good. Most likely it'll come back later after you're not busy anymore, but you get your mind off of it that way for a while. So the real way, the best way that I can tell you to deal with it is don't fight it. You didn't choose it. One thing I want you to know, let's talk about thoughts, and we're not going to talk about smoking cigarettes tonight. I'm going to talk about anger, negative thoughts that are plaguing you. I'm particularly talk about that. Where, help, I can't control myself. I'm going to focus on that as a psychologist right now. Don't try to stop it. Don't fight it. Balance it. Balance it. Balance it with a positive thought, an honorable thought of some type. For example, let's say I'm so angry at that guy. He keeps talking to me like that. He did it in front of people. He's done it before. I'm so upset. Don't worry about that. You're not responsible. You didn't choose. It's not your fault you're getting those thoughts. Just balance it with, but I wish you well. You say, man, I wish you well. Hey, bro, I wish you well. You just have those thoughts. I wish you well. Wish you well, I really do. So this is the honorable way, and I'll be talking about honor. The way of honor would demand you balance it with an honorable thought, in that case, wishing the person well. But know that that negative thought, that upsetting thought, that angry thought is much more powerful than the well-wishing. Much more powerful. But in the long run, by balancing it every time, those kind of negative thoughts will come back less often. I wish you well. Now, you may not want to wish the person well. Well, then you go, I want to wish you well. Or just know when you say, I wish you well, the meaning, that might mean you hope they win the lottery, or it could mean, hey, I hope you repent from the wrongdoings that you have and that you find honor in your life. I wish you well. You might be worried about, some medical condition you have. You have these thoughts, the thought that most people get, something's bothering them, it's persistent. What are the thought that goes through most people's mind at some point for a lot of it? Is it cancer? I wonder if it's cancer. Especially if you just watch the show and talk about cancer, or you just read something like cancer. I've got that. I wonder if that thing is cancer. You wonder. Now, more recently, the last few years, when people get any symptom of anything, say, gee, I think I might have COVID. So I think it's COVID. I mean, my nose is dripping. It might be COVID. So these are a couple of common things to go to, right? COVID, whatever. It was probably COVID, or I hope it's not cancer. Common thoughts that people go to. So you can't help that. Don't fight it. Don't worry about it. It'll come into your mind. You didn't choose it. You're not responsible for it. You balance it with one of the laws of honor. I'll be fine and I'm grateful. Gee, I wonder if it's cancer. I could be dead soon. I don't want to die now. I'll be fine and I'm grateful. Yeah, but it's still bothering me. My close relatives have died of this. Maybe I've got it. I'll be fine. I'm grateful. Balance, balance, balance. Whatever these are, I'm giving you now honor thoughts from the honor system, laws of honor, or before was one of the commandments of honor. So you want to be balancing it. Now, so we're talking about the title, Help, I Can't Control Myself. So when people have a drinking problem, I never try to cure somebody of a drinking. Yeah, I never try to cure somebody of a drinking problem. I mean, they can go to AA, they can do whatever. What I'll say to them is, when the time is right, you're gonna control it. You're gonna stop when the time's right for you. So if you have a drinking issue and you're not ready to stop, no sense in lying to yourself. I'm going to stop when the time is right. I'm going to stop when the time is right. I don't intend to do this the rest of my life. That's the best you can do. I mean, you're still drinking. The problem hasn't gone away. It's the best you can do in that circumstance. You balance it with a positive message, a constructive message to yourself. You want a constructive measure to yourself. So these are so when I talk about, I have many lectures on the 4 Commandments of Honor, the Bridge, the Supremacy of Honor Code, the Laws of Honor, the Demands of Honor. A lot of lectures on that. The pledges to become a disciple of honor, the pledge to become a devotee of honor. So when I'm talking about the way of honor, as you follow the way of honor, you're going to seek to put honor before everything. So the Supremacy of Honor Code, I'll just go over that one right now. Honor before pride, honor before anger, honor before sex, honor before money, honor before fear, honor before everything, honor before life itself. So a person's getting angry at somebody, upset, honor before anger. Honor before anger. That's you're committing to that. To be a disciple of honor, you take the pledge to repeat the 4 Commandments of honor. To be a devotee of honor, you're agreeing to repeat the Supremacy of Honor Code at least once a day. So the 4 Commandments of honor are, I wish you well. I take full responsibility for co-creating my reality and my problems. I'm grateful for the power I gained from hardship. And either one of 2 depends whether you believe in God. If you believe in God as I do, it's God you wish is my only wish. If you don't want to address God, then it's I seek always to serve my highest values. Then you want to commit. You got to commit your life to this path. For this system to work at its optimal, you have to be always ready to pull these thoughts out. And you have to. The repetition is preparation for application. The repetition is preparation for application. You need to repeat these thoughts all your life to harvest the benefits. As soon as you stop using them, you start losing the benefits. So then I have people take a pledge to be a disciple of honor, which is a lifetime commitment. It goes this way. As a disciple of honor, I pledge myself all the days of my life to the 4 Commandments of honor. And I'll teach them to those I love. I'll repeat them every morning, afternoon, and evening, and listen to myself recite them. This makes people feel good right away, gives them hope right away, gives a sense of meaning right away. I interviewed over 1,100 people. It was over 95% said they feel good and more hopeful. 92% said they feel more meaning in life. Very powerful. So now you're repeating this. An important part of the system is that we're looking for honor. When you follow the way of honor, you're no longer looking for happiness and you're no longer looking for peace. Let me say it again because it's a paradigm shift. When you follow the way of honor, you're no longer looking for happiness. You're no longer looking for peace. You're looking only for honor. Now, honor is the foundation of peace and happiness. You can't be truly happy without honor. You can have fun but not be truly happy. You can't have real true peace in your life without honor. So honor is a necessary condition to be happy or peaceful. And to be fully transparent to you, it's not a sufficient condition. In other words, you could be honorable and miserable. You could be honorable and miserable. But the way of honor will increase your coming back sooner, your resiliency. You'll come back faster with it. You'll achieve more wisdom from your suffering. And you have the possibility of achieving greatness. Compassion, wisdom, greatness will all become possible in a life of minimizing your regrets. But I want you to know you can still get stressed out, depressed, anxious, panic attacks, all the miseries of humanity. You can still get it. You just come back faster. And when you follow the way of honor, you're not adding fuel to the fire. You don't do things to make it worse. That's the other thing. It protects you against making it worse. Now, so we're not looking for happiness. We're looking for honor, which is the foundation of true happiness and peace. Honor being a necessary condition for happiness and peace, but not a sufficient condition. Then we have the bridge between honor and reality. The bridge is this. What's the most honorable thing to think, say, and do? Any situation you're in, that's the question you ask. You don't say, what make me happy in this situation? No, you go, what's the most honorable thing to think, say, and do? It's a paradigm shift. What's the most honorable thing to think, say? Doesn't mean you don't want to be happy. You want to be happy. You want to be peaceful. But you know you have to have honor first. Otherwise, it's not true happiness, true peace is not going to happen. Nothing wrong with wanting happiness, wanting peace, but seek the way of honor. All things will be added unto you. Yeah. So you add the pledge. You do the pledge 3 times a day. Then a person to become a devotee of honor involves repeating the supremacy of honor code at least once a day. Honor before pride, honor before anger, honor before sex, honor before money, honor before fear, honor before everything, honor before life itself. So that's a statement of your priorities, that you're putting honor first before everything. So then you take up the pledge for that to become a devotee of honor is this. As a devotee of honor, I pledge myself all the days of my life to the supremacy of honor code. And I'll bring it to the world for a more just society. So that when you're bringing it to the world, as a disciple of honor, you're bringing it to yourself and to your loved ones. So it's really has that expansion on it. So when I'm talking about the balance, we're really talking about discipline. Buddhist practitioner Bert he said a very interesting thing to me. He says, it's discipline even more than motivation. You may not even feel like being motivated to say the commandments of honor or the bridge, but you discipline yourself to do it anyway. All of us who work out, and I've been working out in the gym for 67 years, a world champion powerlifter and bodybuilder. Half the time, the last darn thing I wanted to do was work out. I didn't want to do it. I did it anyway. Out of discipline, not out of motivation. Let me say it again. Most of the time, or much of the time, I'm not motivated to do it. It's out of a discipline, of a commitment. So as you're disciplining yourself, you're really upset with somebody. You might wish that guy well. I can't stand him. It's a matter of discipline. Yeah, but I committed myself to this. I wish you well. Discipline. You're not motivated. You don't feel like it. It's a matter of discipline. Keeping your word to yourself. I'm going to do. Keeping your word. Keeping the word you've given yourself. I'm going to follow these negative thoughts with some positive self-talk. So this is a way of gaining some control over yourself. You're not able to stop directly the negative thoughts. Otherwise, the more you do this balancing, the negativity comes less and less. I can honestly say, at age 81, I have hardly gotten angry at all in the last 10 years, at least. So I know that's doable. But also, I now repeat the commandments of honor, the bridge, the supremacy of honor code. There's 25 laws of honor. I don't say them all every day, but the ones I do say, I intend to respond much more to your vulnerability than your negativity, God willing. So because under all negativity is always vulnerability. Someone might be angry, but underneath it they feel hurt, abandoned, neglected, jealous, inferior, humiliated, hurt, always, always. So I'm committed to responding to that underlying vulnerability. That protects me against my own anger. Honor is your shield against your own negativity. Honor is a shield against your own inner darkness. Honor is that shield that protects you from yourself. Honor is the shield. What happens with most people, somebody stabs you. And what most people do is they do this. They make it worse. What somebody does to you doesn't even come close to what you do to yourself with what they said. They may have said something to you that was 15 seconds to say it, and you could spend hours, days, weeks, maybe months. I know that. I know you. I know how I've been. I don't do it anymore. The way to stop the is the commandments on the way of honor. You still get stabbed. I mean, people are going to betray us. That's not going to stop. But we won't be destroying ourselves with it as much, not nearly as much, right? In fact, either not at all or right. You have to be you have to be really committed not to destroy yourself. You have to be really committed because you want to get mad. I just want to, I like getting mad. Yes, I'm so angry. I like my anger. Well, if you retract it, though, it's why honor before anger. You got to get to where you want your honor more than your anger. Now, you would think logically you'd want your honor more than your anger. Believe me, you're going to want your anger more than your honor. It's sort of like you've got a gun, make my day. Just give me the right reason to shoot you. Variations of that. That's what's going on. But this is doable. What I'm telling you about the way of honor, I promise you it's doable. I did this all on myself. Before I brought it to my people, I did it to me first. I said, okay, this works. But you have to be really sincere. This is no joke. This is really sincere. If you don't follow this way, you will destroy yourself. I know I destroyed myself long enough to know. Physically, emotionally, every which way. I did it. It's like my father said to me, son, I have a lot of good advice to give you, not because I've been so smart, just I've been so stupid. So I really want you to benefit from my stupidity because I've learned my lesson really, really well. Really well. Now we're going to go to when it's help, I can't control myself, things you know you should be doing and you're not doing it. I know for a fact 100% of you are not exercising as much as you feel you should. I know that for a fact. You are not working out or exercising as much as you know you should. It's true about me. I know it's true about you. Absolutely. If you go for walks, you should be walking more. If you're lifting weights, you should be lifting weights more. If you're doing yoga, you should be doing yoga. Whatever it is, you're not doing enough of it. Now, some people are not doing anything, and you can't even get started. Well, let's take exercise to begin with, because that's a huge part of physical health, mental health. It's super important. The key to getting control over yourself on that is Dr. Nerenberg's 4 laws of exercise. Never quit, no excuses. The best time to work out is now, the worst time is later. The hardest part about getting in shape is getting started. The hardest part about getting in shape is getting started. So, here's the approach. If it's hard, if you're not getting started, you haven't worked out for a while or maybe never, commit to 3 minutes a day. 3 minutes. Push-ups, leg raises, sit-ups, squats, whatever. 3 minutes. And that's very doable. Go down, do 5 push-ups, 10 push-ups, whatever. Then you've started. You've got the momentum. The consistency. When it comes to exercise, the consistency is what counts. Doing it every day. 3 minutes. I did my 3 minutes. Did my 3 minutes. Did a plank for a minute. I did another plank. I did some push-ups. I'm done. 3 minutes. Now, what you need to know, it's easier to go from 3 minutes of working out to an hour than it is from 0 to 3. Once you have the momentum of going, you did 3 minutes, you say, I'll go 5 minutes, go a couple more minutes. So that's the key to getting started there. Now, actually, a big one. Now, it could be you need to be apologizing to somebody. You know you need to be repenting and clearing the air from something, and it's hard for you to do it. It's not a matter of stopping something, it's a matter of doing something. Well, a lot of things that you don't want to do. It could be pride standing in the way, particularly when it comes to apologizing. That's why we have honor before pride. And we also have certain laws of honor, of humility to help facilitate that. So the laws of humility are, I apologize, I was wrong, you were right, please forgive me, I'll never do it again. I've not always lived with honor, but I'll die with honor. I apologize, I was wrong, you were right, please forgive me, I'll never do it again. I've not always lived with honor, but I will die with honor. Now you might want to say all of that, but once a lot of people have never apologized to anybody. They're too proud. I mean, pride in a not a good way. It's like ego and vanity. So by repeating those to yourself, which I do 3 times a day, even just hearing yourself do it, it's not, otherwise it's like, say, I'm sorry. You go, what did I just say? It's like, you never did it. But I'm exaggerating, but but you're saying it in your thoughts, so you've been hearing yourself apologizing for a long time, and you're not apologizing to somebody in particular, you're just apologizing to the universe. I apologize, please forgive me. Yeah. So you can just go, I'm sorry. You don't have to say I was wrong. Maybe you weren't wrong. I apologize, forgive me. You can go through that whole liturgy I did, or just some portion of it. But I'm sorry is good. I apologize, please forgive me is even more powerful. Now, I should tell you this. I want to go back to the negative thoughts that you want to stop. One way of stopping a lot of negative thoughts is if you did something where you wronged somebody, it'll generate a lot of negative thoughts in you. Let me tell you why. You were wrong. You're going to get a lot of angry thoughts. You know why? You're going to justify this thing you said to him. You're going to justify, I did this to him because he's no good son of a gun. He deserved it, blah, blah, blah. And you're going to justify it. We all justify our wrongdoings. Myself, I used to. I don't do that anymore. I really don't. But I have quite a bit. Don't do it anymore. So that justification, and keep repeating that story, and you may go tell your friends and relatives a version of that story to get people to agree with you how right you were. So you keep the negativity going, trying to justify it. So in no particular case, you'll be able to control your negativity by apologizing. Say, I was wrong. Hey, I apologize. Forgive me. Guess what? Your negativity goes down. Do you know how much energy it takes for you to keep going over that justification, to tell that story to yourself? A lot of energy. A lot of your psychic energy is going towards keeping that story going. So in that case, you can gain control over your negativity through apologizing, through your humility, through the laws of humility. Now, there are some cases, particularly in a romantic relationship, an intimate relationship, you're angry at your significant other, your spouse, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever. I'll tell you another secret. When you're upset with that person, you know, an hour before you might say, I love you so much, I'm crazy about you, I'm in love with you. Then a person says something or forgets to do something. You no good, you don't care about me, I just can't stand you. Why are we even together? I mean, it's like, just an hour ago you said how much you love this person. You're talking that way. In your mind, think, I just got to get rid of this person. I can't stand him. So here, I'm going to give you the laws of love, because love will help you go beyond these negative thoughts. We're giving you ways going back to the first category of stopping negative thoughts. So the laws of love are, I love you, I adore you, I admire you, I respect you, I appreciate you, I'll do anything for you, I'm totally loyal to you, I'm totally committed to you, and next to God, you're my first priority always. So you're walking around having that. So you go right into that, I love you so much, I just love you, and you got that going. So the person's done something, and you go, look, I love you, I'm committed to you, but I feel really hurt by that. That way you're not losing, you're telling the person the problem, but you're staying connected at the same time. It's like holding their hand and saying something maybe harsh, but you're holding their hand. That'll cut way down on your negativity. Plus, not to mention all the negativity that's going to come back on you in the relationship issue, which could go on for a long time. That person will never forget what you said, and back and forth. Now, I should say this, that sometimes when you're having a negative reaction towards a person and you can't stop it, sometimes we can't work it out within ourselves. We can pray about it, turn to God, turn to the higher power, do your commandments of honor, all the rest. That's all good because it keeps you from being dishonorable or making it worse. Sometimes you might need a little conversation, a little look of love, touching the hand or something, a little connection going, and you see, some chemistry going back on, and we need each other. We need each other. And so sometimes you go as far as you can internally, and by the internal work, you're not going to make it worse. But sometimes you need to talk to somebody. Say, hey, I felt hurt by that. I love you and I appreciate you, but I don't know, if you can apologize or hold me or something. I need something from you. Now, a lot of times you think you need that love from the other person, and you may or may not get that when you need it. But let me tell you what will help heal you up to the negative thought even more. Your love for him or her, assuming they'll receive it. If they're not, as long as they're open to receive it. If they don't receive it, it's very painful. But you're expressing your love. Listen, I'm crazy about you. I love you so much. I just adore you. I love you. And we're talking truth because you're committed to it. Now it's a matter of discipline. You weren't feeling it. It didn't come out of your feeling. It came out of your commitment to love and discipline. But once you get that going, and the person's receiving it, not where they're going, what it's saying to me. They're receiving it, and then that flow of your love will heal you. That flow of your love will heal you. Your love going out and being received. That's a beautiful thing. You want to be loved, to be healed. Yes, and that's good. Your love for the other will heal you even more. And it's more under your control. You may or may not be able to get that expression of love from that person at that time. But you can give that love. Especially if you see they're receptive and they can take it in. If they just all bent that shit, they're looking like that, you may not want to say it right then. But that's another option. But you need to know that your love can heal you enormously. Now, you think of love as a feeling, and that's a beautiful feeling. The expression of it, I love you, I adore you, I appreciate you so much. the expression of it creates a beautiful energy flow. Beautiful energy flow. And that's a healing thing. It's healing to you and to the other person. It's a beautiful thing. Now, going back to, help, I can't control myself, and you need to get started, you need to be doing something. You may not feel up to it. So one of the laws of honor is, I can, I will, now. Now, once you say the word now, you got to be all in. Doesn't matter what happens. I'll give you an example with myself. When I was 65 and I took the world record on the bench press of 365 pounds drug-free, I'll repeat, I can, I will, I can, I will. Now, once I went now up, it's a very intimidating amount of weight to be coming down. I 365 pounds. And I said, now I'm all in. I just go. The time when I was turning 70 and I was doing a demonstration of strength at Whittier College for one of the classes there, sitting on the ground, 14,000 pounds of F-51 Ford pickup trucks with a bunch of people in it. Sat there. I never done it. It's not like I've done it before. I just thought I could. So they were tied together, the two trucks. I sat there and it moved. It went. But I can, I will. Now, I didn't know if I didn't know if I damaged my back. Once you go now, it doesn't matter what happens. You've got it. You're all in. So once you have that word now, you only use it. Don't use it unless you're going to do it. So that's your word. So whatever it is, that could get you to start doing something you don't want to do. Once you go now, so again, we're not talking about motivation. Motivation is easy. Oh, I'm so pumped. I'm so motivated. Oh, yes, let me do it. I'm not talking about that. A lot of times, you're not there. You're not really that psyched. You may be there, you may be hungry, you have a bowel movement, you're thinking, I got to go urinate, I really got to pee as soon as I can. You're having these things, you don't want to do this thing. But whatever it is, you're having these other thoughts, and you're not even feeling that well, you feel you're coming down with a cold, whatever. This is reality. So you're not depending on motivation, depending on discipline. You're committed. When you go now, you're all in. You're all in. So like fights on the street. You could be training, doing your weightlifting, being strong, and then you walk on the street, it looks like there's going to be a fight, and you don't feel up to it. Your back's killing you. You're tired. You're just not ready for it. You just hope you don't want to be able to do it. But you got to step up. This thing's going to go down. You got to somehow diffuse it or take care of it, whatever. A lot of things hit us out of left field. You just got to step up to it now. I'm just using that as an example. So, I'm talking about discipline, not motivation. It's a big difference. Now, at some point in the past, you were motivated to make that decision that you're going to do X, Y, or Z. You were motivated to make the decision. But then when the situation is there, there'll be no motivation at all. Or you need to call somebody and take care of a problem or go after a job that you really don't feel up to it, you don't feel adequate. And you say, now, you just go through that, knock on that door, and whatever happens, happens. So these are some of the ways. Also, the other way is, particularly if you're a devotee of honor or you follow the way of honor, and the demands of honor might just demand you do that. You're driving in the street, you see something in the street that could be damaging to other cars. You got to get somewhere. The last thing you want to do is traffic. You don't want to stop. You just want to go. They say, well, honor demands. I just do something. I put honor before everything. Pull off the side of the street, wait till traffic stops, go out there, pick the thing up, move it so somebody doesn't get hurt going over the thing. You want to motivate to do it. As a matter of fact, you're motivated not to do it. You were motivated not to do that thing. The last thing you want to do was take your time, pull off to the side of the road, go over there, wait for because you're in a rush to get to your appointment. You're not motivated. You have discipline, and then the other one is commitment. You're committed to the way of honor demands that you do it. You're committed your life to the way of honor. You've got to do it, this thing. So these are the ways, then, through the way of honor, of getting control over yourself. Getting control over yourself doesn't mean all of a sudden everything's great. Like I say, thoughts and issues will continue, and you still may not exercise enough by whatever standards you have, but you'll be stepping it up and going in the right direction. I should say that honor is a direction whose destination will never be fully reached because it's infinite. My pleasure to present to you Help, I Can't Control Myself. And I want to open it up and see some of the reaction that you have. And Tracy, anything you want to say about this or ask?
Yeah, I was just trying to reflect on stuff that says help, I can't help myself. And I guess one thing for me that is, I feel like I can't help myself is getting up early, not get up early. I just feel like I can't help myself, even if I go to bed at a decent time and I could get like 9, sometimes even 10 hours of sleep. And I still wake up late, or I'll wake up like I can't do it.
Okay, let me ask you this. For each situation, there's an approach to getting yourself moving. Do you ever wake up and you just don't want to get out of bed, or you're just literally sleeping through the whole time?
Sleeping.
So you don't wake up and say, I go back to sleep?
I guess I'll kind of wake up, sort of, and because I'll hear my alarm and then I'll just turn it off. And
okay,
then
so you're up enough to turn off. Okay. Yeah, you need the only way to deal with it. The only way to deal with it is the word now. You have to be really committed to following the word now. When you do it, you go now. You jump out of bed. You run into the bathroom. You throw cold water on your face immediately. I mean, literally throw it on your face. You'll be up. But you need the word now. I've been there. I used to not want to get up in the morning, and I trained myself to do it. So I know this method works. But you need the word now. When you go now, that's got to be 100% with that word. Now. Again, it's discipline. You're not motivated. The last thing you want to stay in the bed. It's warm. I want to close my eyes. Now. But it goes by that commitment. It's going by discipline. And it's going by your commitment to the word now. And then you got to get that cold water on your face immediately. Then you'll be good. That'll take you. I've done it. I was never a morning person. I was a night person. I actually got it where I can get up 6 in the morning and do it. Yeah.
I'll try that tomorrow because.
Then let me know how that goes. But you got to be committed to the word now. Don't ever use that word if you're not going to move.
Okay.
Because
these nights I've been going to bed probably like 10:30, which seems like a reasonable time. I mean, isn't it?
Listen, it is. If you go, I don't give you go to about 4 in the morning. If you say you're going to get up 6, the alarm goes off, and you want to reach and turn it off, you go now, you jump up, run to the bathroom. Don't walk. Run to that bathroom as fast as you can. Get that cold water on your face. And then I want you to text me. I want you to let me know how it went.
Okay.
And I want to know if it didn't work for you. I want to know if it did. But if you follow, but the word now has got to be sacred. You never back down from now. Once you go now, you're all in. Whether it's life or death, doesn't matter. You're all in. That word's sacred now. I know I've done this. I've tested this out for many years. This is not a theory. I've done it.
I believe you. I think also because what helps me, besides hearing, I have several alarms. Several alarms.
Well, if you're not committed to it, you can hit and take off every one of them and go back to bed. When you go now, remember 2 things. Now, you jump out, you run to the bathroom, throw cold water on your face. Let me know what happens.
Okay.
All right, good. let's see, so Bernice, you're here. Is there any, I'm glad you're here today. Bernice, do you have any thoughts about this?
I just think it's a beautiful message of a healthy control of ourselves, not really trying to control other people, but our own disciplines, our commitments that lead to the way of honor. I think it's a beautiful message in so many different facets of our life.
That's very well said. I mean, it's, and what makes it even more beautiful is I've tested it. I've used it myself a lot, and I've helped other people with it. And that now, by the way, a lot of people have a problem with procrastination. Now is that method is the cure for procrastination. Once you go now, that'll help with procrastination. But thanks for that
I think
feedback.
that's a powerful statement. Yeah, that's a powerful statement, especially to be committed to the now. Like you said, if you're not going to be committed to doing it, then don't say it, because then you'll get used to not following.
But then words can have power, but they can lose power if it's not followed with the action that's supposed to be associated with it.
Yeah, so I can appreciate you saying don't say it unless you're going to commit to it.
Now, yes, and then one of the laws of honor that supports that reinforces is keeping my word is my first priority always. Keeping my word is my first priority always. Let me tell you about the power of your word. If you give your word and you don't follow through, other people won't believe you. But something much worse than that, than other people not believing you after a while, you won't believe you. So therefore, your words, which could give you power and direction, lose it because you don't keep, when you say you're going to do something, you say it to somebody else, or you even say it to yourself you're going to do it, and you don't do it. You don't believe your own word. That's more dangerous than somebody else not believing. You don't believe it. That's why I have that law of honor. That's the source of ultimate discipline. Keeping my word is my first priority always. When you say it, you keep exactly to it or don't say it. Most people don't know this secret. It's a secret of life.
Yeah, you don't want to fracture.
You don't want to fracture the power of the word.
Sorry.
The word,
Go
no,
ahead.
it's okay. The word is very powerful, but you have to be committed to it. Yes, please.
Definitely. I can agree.
Yeah. We all know people that don't keep their word. You might be that person. Some people listening may not be that. Very dangerous. You destroy the power of your word to yourself. It's a problem that, people who want to break a bad habit, whether it's drugs or alcohol or smoking, they tell themselves they're going to stop smoking. Well, they say, yeah, I could stop smoking anytime. I've stopped thousands of times. They don't keep to their word. So when they tell them they're going to stop smoking, it doesn't mean anything because I've said it so many times. That's why I tell people, don't say you're going to stop smoking when I stop smoking. You can say, I'm not going to smoke for an hour. I'm not going to smoke for today. Something you can keep to, but once you start saying you're going to not do something and you're not going to keep to, don't do it. Don't overstep it. So take something you can do. Say, I'm going to do this by 3 o'clock today, and do it. I'm not going to eat cake today. Well, don't eat cake today. You eat tomorrow. Midnight comes, you stay up to midnight, then have your cake, but you didn't do it today. That's how that works. Stacy, thank you very much, Bernice. Thank you. Stacy, any comments or questions?
Yeah, no, I thought that was also a beautiful message, and that I love what you're saying about now. If it's not now, don't say it. That is you're committed to that moment. And I love the ice thing, by the way, or the not ice, the cold water.
You've got to get that on, exactly.
I mean, that's so good. I feel like you could do that for any, if it's something right now, you could go to the sink and do the cold water and bring yourself in the now.
Oh, it will open your eyes up. It will open your eyes.
Yeah.
Definitely, you go like that from it. Yeah, it'll wake you up for a while anyway to get you started. Absolutely.
The other thing, the exercise. I have a big problem with that, and want to start and I want to commit, but I love what you said about 3 minutes per day.
Stacy, I want you to do 3 minutes of exercise today. Tomorrow, text me how that went. 3 minutes. I don't care if it's push-ups, leg raises, sit-ups, stretching, jumping jacks. Just 3 minutes, and text me whether you did it.
Okay. I will definitely. And then the last thing I just wrote down, you said what someone says to us doesn't come close to what we do to ourselves with that information, and that spiral is, yeah. So that was really profound, and thank you for that.
You're most welcome. That's the stab with the. This is what we do. They do this, and then we do that with the knife. I'm glad you picked up, and that's a very vital point. Raimundo, is there anything you want to say or ask?
I mean, just be honest to yourself, honestly. I mean, the only person you're hurting is yourself, no one else. So, if you're telling someone else, like, hey, I quit smoking, I quit eating fast food, I started working out, or let's say you lost weight and but you didn't, you tell someone a lie. The only person you're lying to is yourself. So
being honest with yourself, I'm glad you said that, Raimundo. Now, self-honesty is the foundation for the whole thing.
Right.
And particularly, in all areas, but particularly when you're angry at somebody else, and typically we're co-creating it, and you blame the other person for it. If you're really honest with yourself, 99% of the time you'll find how you co-create it, and you can apologize for your part. But most people are not honest with themselves. They just want to blame the other person completely. And so if you're really honest with yourself, you will see that you added fuel to that fire. You may not have started the problem, but you definitely have added to it 99% of the time. Exactly. So I'm glad you brought up self-honesty. And that takes a lot of sincerity. And people feel, it's a matter of pride. People don't want to acknowledge it. They feel it's a blow to their pride to acknowledge that they co-created it. No, it's beautiful. I mean, we all respect and admire somebody who steps up and says, hey, I did that, and I'm not going to do it anymore. We don't think less of that person. We think more of that person. But yeah, nobody wants to fess up. Nobody wants to own up, step and say, hey. The beautiful thing about saying I co-created it, when you can find that, is it gives you the power to unco-create, to just go a new direction. It's really a statement of power. Kimberly, any thoughts or questions about this?
Yes, I was enjoying what Tracy was saying because I'm the exact same way. I cannot get up for the life of me. I mean, I usually get up like around 10:30, and I always try to get up at 8. Never, ever happens. And I'm such a slow mover. I don't know. I get up, get some coffee, take a shower. Next thing you know, it's 11:30, 12. I'm like, where did the day go? And now it's just the day kind of like, it's not the same.
What ideal time would you like to wake up tomorrow?
8. I want to at least start with 8. 8, and then make my work my way up to 7 in the morning, so I can have an hour maybe to work out. That's another thing that I cannot.
All right, so for tomorrow at 8, tomorrow at 8, same thing as I said to Tracy. Use the word now. Does the alarm go off at 8? Well, set the alarm for 8.
I have like 3, 4, 5 alarms going on.
Well, same with Tracy. Okay, set the alarms. Set the alarms, and but then use the word now. But don't use it if you're not going to do it. You go now. Run to the bathroom. Throw cold water on your face. Text me. I'll let Tracy know how you did, and let you know how Tracy did. So yeah, Tracy has talked to me before how much she identifies with you as well. So that works both ways with the two of you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
It was also soda. I cannot give up soda and eating bad. Oh my gosh, I love it. It tastes so good with every meal.
Oh no, soda. These things are just yummy, and you don't want to say I'm never going to drink soda again. You might want to say, okay, I'll ask you this. Would you want to say you're not going to? How often do you drink soda?
Once a day.
Okay.
I can.
Okay, I'm going to ask you one question. I'll ask you this question. Now, could you? I'm not saying to give up soda. I'm just going to say, can you just not drink soda for tomorrow?
Yeah, I could do it.
And just do that. Text me whether you did it or not. Just that you did it
Okay.
one day. I'm not
Okay.
because just one day at a time. With then you can say the next day I'm going to have my soda, and maybe the next day your soda. You can say, oh, today I'm not going to do it. Let's just see if you can make a decision on certain days not to have the soda.
Okay.
Yeah.
Will do.
I have a sweet tooth. It was very hard for me. I found substitutes. I'll eat a date. I also found some natural sugars like xylitol or monk fruit that I can use. That's very sweet and it doesn't raise the blood sugar level. It doesn't add to cavities, particularly xylitol. There's some ways to satisfy that, but yeah, I mean, soda's one of the biggest killers and very, very popular. I mean, just have shelves of soda in the supermarkets. Thanks.
I like McDonald's because they have like that app that you get like so many deals and it's so cheap, so convenient, and I'm just like trying to get out of that habit.
When you look what's happening, we spend more money than any nation on so-called health care, which is really disease care. And, we're not even in the top 10 in terms of health. I don't even know if we're the top 20, probably not in terms of health. We're not.
Because in the U.S., there's so much obesity.
Yeah, obesity, and a lot of us, soda is a big culprit. And then people that, one hand, they're drinking the sodas, and then 20 years later, flocking to the hospitals. That's what's jamming up the hospitals. Yeah,
I don't want that.
That's why the cost skyrocketing, hospital costs skyrocketing, insurance costs because sodas. Sodas, other sweets, whatever that we know are killing us. Yeah. I mean, I was big on all pastries and whatnot. It's a big step for me. But thanks, Kimberly. Let me know how that goes.
Thank you. Thank you,
You're
doctor.
welcome. Anybody else have anything you want to say or add?
I just wanted to say, even though I'm a vegetarian, I have the same problem as Kimberly. So even if you could be like, on a really big health kick, but you can still kind of, have those little vices. I'm not saying it's right, but like I do have that issue too. So
How often do you
coming
have a
from
soda? How
vegetarian-
often do you have a soda?
If I eat out, like if I go to like a drive-through or something, then I feel like I want a soda.
So how many
and then
days?
I'll
How many
indulge.
days a week is that?
Maybe two. Try to limit it
twice.
to like maybe
And
two
so you
a
get
week.
yeah. What size soda do you get?
Small.
Oh, that's good. That's a good step right there. Okay. I'm going to ask you something.
But still.
Let me
but
ask
still,
you
I
this
don't like to
question.
do
Let me
that.
ask you this question. First, I really respect that you're a vegetarian. It's a kindness to the animals. When I was young, I was for a few years, and then now I'm sort of dependent on some animal products. But do you finish the soda?
Not really.
Now, how much do you leave before you throw it out?
Sometimes it's like half. Most of the time I'm like in a rush or something, like, I'm just getting something out to eat because like I'm in a rush, and then I have to leave my car, so then I'm usually like wasting quite a bit of it. Like, I would say no more than half I'm
Well-
drinking.
Well, let me ask you this. I don't know if people ever do this, but half is good. It's not better than the whole thing. And is it possible to ask for extra ice?
Yeah, probably.
Well, you might want to ask for extra ice. That's less soda. More ice, less soda. They like it because they don't have to spend as much. Ice is cheaper than the soda.
Right.
So that's one approach.
Yeah.
And then I would be telling yourself the time will come when I'm not going to drink soda.
Yeah.
I would be telling yourself that message. The time will come when I'm not going to drink soda. Instead I'm not going to drink soda. The time will come when I'll be drinking something healthier than soda. Let's put it in a positive way. The time will come when I drink something healthier than soda.
You're right, because it's pretty much a perpetual thing. You just start doing it, and then it's hard to stop. But I've gone months without drinking it before.
A lot
It's
of
just like
things,
once you can get on it.
A lot of times we can stop things, but then once we get a little taste of it again, it gets it all going. That's like it is with smoking. You're not smoking, but you get one, and that kind of triggers it going. So it's that relapse to one. You go one of it, then you're going to be triggered into it. But I would just go with the time will come when I drink something healthier than soda. I would just let yourself know that you're not making a commitment to stop, but you're asking for extra ice. leaving half of it over. It's not too bad. Sometimes the best we can do is minimize the damage control. And all of this, damage
I
control.
was just going to say the same thing, like mitigation.
Mitigate as much of it as you can, and then reassure yourself the time will come when you won't be doing it. Mitigation.
Yeah, thank you.
Good point. You're welcome. Thanks for bringing that up. Well, it's been my pleasure, my privilege to have this time together, to be able to share these thoughts and explore it together. Thank you.